I would much rather talk about animals. Yeah.
I'm still here.
The main lesson, but really seriously, the main lesson, anybody that has to handle with this, it has to handle with the play groups. It has to come from an achdus and looking out for the fellow Jew. That's for sure, 100%. We can't do this. None of the selfishness. It's not going to get us anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
what about the fact that people are scared about losing their jobs? Like,
okay,
seriously.
So that's what I'm saying. Each situation is different. Each person has to be looking to take care of the other. That's the bottom line. Each person has to be looking out for the other guy's best, and every situation will play itself out differently. That's really what it has to be. Okay, so on the Gemara.
It's easier for the Rebbeinu Shalom to give dadim to a man to feed his baby than to give him parnassus.
Good segue right there. Right. Correct.
I hate to do this again. Please have in mind Chana Leah Bas Sarah.
Okay, at least that's the same person, right?
No, 35-year-old mother of 3 had a stroke right after Corona.
Yeah. Okay, she should have a refuah shalema amongst Pesach Shar Chali Yisrael.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
All right, so now.
All right. Refuah.
Okay, so Scharim Yotzin Levuvin, right? So now at least we should learn for that. These people should have a refuah shalema, right? Scharim Yotzin Levuvin, right? So the males can go out Levuvin. My Levuvin, Amar Rav Huna Taisrei. It means that they're going out tied up twice, meaning doubles. They're going out as pairs. My Mashra the High Levuvin Lishna the Kroivehu. How do you know that's a lishon of kroive, of closeness? T'chsev levaftani achoisi kala. Right? My. It's an interesting pasuk. We just had in Shir Shirim on Pesach, but my heart is like achoisi, is like my sister. Right? You basically he's telling his kala that he likes her like his sister. Imagine you try and tell that to your I tell your wife I love you like my sister. I don't know if that's going to fly anymore, but okay. But that is basically what the pasuk is saying. Okay, Ula Omar. What Arsha Kaishalem Keneged Libam? It's a piece of leather that they tie next to their heart, so that the wolves should not be able to fall on them. Zeivim ascharim nafli and the kevus loy nafli. They only go on males; they don't go on females. Right, meaning because the Mishna says it's levuvin, scharim, males go out with levuvin. So what females don't? So the Gemara answers, Mishum the maska b'reish edru. No, the males go at the front of the flock, so therefore they're going to get attacked first. And the Gemara says, "Zeivin b'reish edru nafli, b'sayf edru loy nafli." Do these wolves only attack the front of the flock and not the end of the back of the flock? Ela mishum deshamni. So the Gemara answers, no, because the males are fat. So over in the kevus leka shamni, and for females there aren't fat lambs or goats by females. And furthermore, mi yodei bein hani lahani. Does a wolf really know the difference between a male and a female goat? Ela mishum dezakvi chatmayu maski kidav. The reason is because the males walk with their noses up in the air and looking around. Maski kidav. They look around like this, so they are much more conspicuous, and therefore they get attacked first. So therefore these levuvin, they put them opposite their hearts. That's why they're called levuvin, so then it will protect them. So I guess it's like body armor for goats. Yeah. It's sort of a chastity belt for males, that it does not end up being going on to a female. I guess you don't want them to mate at that time, so you cover it, you cover the aver so that it doesn't do anything. How do you know this? Because the sefer says the rechelim, the females go out shchuzes. My shchuzes. What is shchuzes? There it's the opposite. They tie the tails up, so that the zacharim should have an easy time mounting them. So therefore they will conceive. And so it must be that the Reish is talking about that we don't want the males, is a situation where we don't want the males going on the females, and in the Sefer is the opposite. Right, so that's a proof that that's what it must be referring to. My mashra the shchuzos is listen to the gluyehu. How do you know the lashon of shchuzos is a lashon of revealing, right? Revealing the tail. So Rashi says it's interesting. Shis Zaina stands for shchuzais. That's a nitrikon. A nitrikon is like a rashi tevis. Of nitrikon is shchuzais, and it's busha shis zaina unetzaras leiv, and it's like a zaina who's megala herself. So that's where the word shchuzais, that's where it comes from. Okay. Harechelim yotz is kvulos. So the rechelim can go. The females go out kvulos. My kvulos. What is kvulos? This is the opposite of what we just said. What it is that they tie down the tail so that the males will not be able to mount the females. My mashad hay kovel lishna the loy ovid perehu. And what's the lashon kovel? The lashon kovel is that it's not going to have peris, right? Yeah. Dechsiv maha arim ha'ela shenasatili achi vayikol and eretz kovel ad hayam hazeh. They called it eretz kovel, right? He was tining on these that that country is not a good place. My eretz kovel. What does it mean eretz kovel? It's that there were people there that were just wrapped in kesef and zav. Right? Sounds like a pretty good place to go to. Yeah. Amrlei Rava Iachi Hanu Dusiv Kiloi Viloi. It says changes themselves. Shall change the Viloi Yoshu Be'enov. Because of Zav Yoshu Be'enov. Because they weren't considered yosher in the eyes, right? So the Gemara asked because they were wrapped with kesef and silver, so therefore they weren't proper, meaning the people there weren't good. Amrlei in Kivan Da'atiri Mafankali of the since they were wealthy. And they were mefunakim, they were finicky. Therefore, they wouldn't do work. Okay, so that's basically where the word kovel comes from. So basically, the Gemara is saying that the word kovel means tied down. So the females' tails were tied down. It's an eretz chaimtin, which is salt. The Rashi says it's like a salty land. It's salty and broken land, meaning barren land. By my curly kovel. And why is that called kaval? Why is chaimtin called kaval? The mishtarga b'kara at kaval, that it's like quicksand. You sink your foot. Kara means your foot or your leg will sink up until your ankle or knee. They call it a land of kavla of the knee to loy avid peri. It's not going to give off any fruits, meaning because it's a barren land and you just sink into it. You can't plant there. So that's the same thing. They tied the kovel, means they tied down the tail so that this animal will not be able to conceive. Okay, kvunos. Right? What's kvunos? So shemechavnin aisad lemelas. They wrap some clothing around it so that on the day it's born, so that it doesn't get its wool dirty. And since it won't get its wool dirty, the wool will be in good condition. Right? Kedetanan. What is white tzemer? What is white wool? It's like the white wool that you're going to get if you immediately wrap up this sheep right when it's born, and you wrap it in this whatever this. I guess it's a cloth. I don't know exactly what it's made out of. So therefore, it's going to have pure white wool. Okay, vayizim yotzes tzroiros, and goats can go out tied up. It marav amar lochik Rabbi Yehuda, Shmuel amar lochik Rabbi Yossi. Right, so we have a three-way machlokes. If you remember what goats can go out with, right? One shita was, how does it go? The Tanakama holds that they can go out. It's there to dry up the milk, right? So and Rabbi Yossi says he's none of them. You can't go out with any of them except for and Rabbi Yehuda says that the goats can go out through us for drying it up, and not for challah. Right? So it's basically machlokes. It's a three-way machlokes. So who do we pasken like? So Idma Rav Amar Aloch Rabbi Yehuda. Rav says Allah is like Rabbi Yehuda. But Shmuel Amar Aloch Rabbi Yossi, and Shmuel says Allah is like Rabbi Yossi. And there are those that learn this Gemara independently, having nothing to do with the Mishna. Rav Amar Liyavish Mutar v'loy l'chalov. If you're tying up these pieces of leather over the udders in order to dry up the udders so they stop milking the animal and therefore they'll get pregnant, right? So then there would be mutter. But if it's there to just catch the milk, then it's not allowed. That's Rav. Shmuel Amar Echad Zeh Echad Zeh. Also, yeah.
Yaakov, how aren't we worried about the fact that it could benefit us, and since we're trying to prospect, a female goat getting pregnant in the future, the milk can dry up and not a big deal because no use for it. I can see that, but if you're specifically trying to use husbandry for goats, isn't that more problematic than the milk?
You're saying because it's for the human wants it and not
yeah.
I hear. So you're saying because that's for the human's use and not for the right, so good. So that's a good point. But there's another issue here, and that is that whether this thing is gonna that's whether you're allowed to put it on Shabbos. Right? That's whether you're allowed to put it on Shabbos. But this is talking about taking it outside in Rosh Hashanah. So if it's on tight to dry up the milk, it's on tight, we're not scared it's going to fall and then you're going to carry it. If it's on loose, then we're afraid it's just going to, that's what it would be to catch the milk. Then it's going to fall off. We're afraid it's going to fall over Rosh Hashanah, and then you're going to carry it. That machlokes that you're referring to is about whether you're allowed to put it on Shabbos. Yes, then that you would be correct. But this is talking about whether you're going to drop it in Rosh Hashanah.
Meaning it was already put on before Shabbos.
Exactly, right, exactly. Yes, it's a good point. Thank you for clarifying that. Right, that there are those that learn it on that goats can go out through this to dry them up, and not for challah. That this is the halacha, and this is actually very interesting. He says, but who's gonna? Mephis means to pious is a lottery, right? In Israel, the pious is a lottery, right? Who's gonna know whether this thing is on tight to dry up the udders or it's there for the milk? And with Shein Makirin, and because we don't know which one looks like what, so therefore we're going to say that it's asr. Basically saying it's too hard to differentiate between which way you put this thing onto the udders for, so therefore we're just going to make it asr. Which is interesting. That means like, well, who cares if you can tell? I mean, you know, if you're the farmer, you know whether you put it on tight or you didn't put it on tight, right? So I guess he's a chashid that maybe you're not going to know exactly what you did it for, and therefore you're going to end up making a mistake. So
Rashi says that if somebody else sees it,
I understand,
you might know,
right? So,
but somebody else might be
that's
confused.
what I'm saying. But who cares? Who cares about somebody else?
Because let's say he has intentions to actually catch the milk. Like he doesn't know la halacha. He's an amar.
What do you mean? Somebody else is catching the milk? That's what you.
So let's say somebody
Rashi?
sees you tie it, and he's like,
Right.
"Oh, he's probably doing that to catch the milk," not knowing that if you do that, then it's usher.
Right, I'm saying so he's basically answering it because, according to the Rashi, right, is because of Marasayan. That the guy might learn from you and not know that there's a difference, right?
That's the way Rashi seems to apply.
Yes, that is correct. But it's interesting that he's going to answer it without mentioning the word Marasayan or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm saying Mamela, he's changing the halacha because of somebody else.
But we do that a lot.
I mean,
we did it by putting the saddle. You know, the under the blankets under the saddle. We said you can't do because people are gonna think that you're walking, that you're taking it out on Shabbos.
Right. Well, you mean that's in the next Mishna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. But here he's saying really I hold that drying is fine and loose is not is you know what I mean?
But we do this a lot. We do this a lot in halacha where we're so concerned about what other people are watching us do. And the perception that we have.
No, that's true. That's when we also doing something completely, right?
Well, maybe that's the.
Here he's just saying it's such a fine line that somebody might learn. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay,
but I'm saying, but in general, like that's kind of what we do. We can't. You can't do a lot of things because they'll think.
This is a din d'Rabbanan. And the Rabbanan are saying, if it's going to look like you're doing, then you shouldn't do it.
Okay, fair enough. But there's an interesting Taisus. See, Taisus says halacha is like.
Say that though. The Gemara doesn't say it like that. The Marasai.
Right. No, Rashi is learning it that it's a Marasai.
I mean,
right. From the Gemara, that's what I'm saying. From the Gemara, it's mashma. Maybe it's even to the guy. But look at look at this third Taisus down halacha. Right. It's an easy Taisus. Don't worry. Halacha Rav Yehuda ben Beseir. Right, so he's saying that the halacha is like Rav Yehuda ben Beseir. Why didn't you say the halacha is like Rav Yossi? Rav Yehuda ben Beseir is quoting Rav Yossi. Why didn't you just say halacha is like Rav Yossi? Right? So he says, "Hadanaka Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira v'lo naka Rabbi Yossi mishum demamakim she'ein oisin klal ela kedei liyavish," then shari, right? If you only do it, if it's in a town or a city, I don't know how you, or a country, whichever it is, that they never put these things under the udder to catch the milk. They only do it to dry up the udders. So then Rabbi Yehuda, right? Shari Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, the loy shayach hasam mi meifis, because then according to Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, there's no maris ayin, because nobody's going to think that he's doing it for milk, because nobody does it for milk. Rabbi Yossi, Oisem Mishum Dilma Nafel, but Rabbi Yossi would say it's also because it's going to fall. Right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Taisus is saying like Rashi is saying differently than Rashi, but it's interesting that Taisus is differentiating that if it's in a town that they only use it to dry the udders, then Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira would hold it's okay, and Rabbi Yossi would still hold it's not okay. Right? Because he's still afraid that it may fall. Okay. Weiter. So Amar Shmuel, back to one of the last thin line. Amar Shmuel, Amilo, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Halacha Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Ki Asa Rabban, Amar Ki Asa Rabban, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Halacha Tanakama. Okay, the halacha is like Tanakama. That's fine. Next Mishna. What can't an animal go out with? So which type of animals can't go out with what? So the Yotza Gamal b'mitoteles. A Gamal cannot go out with a mitoteles, right? Which is also some sort of what do we call it the other day? A saddle, not a saddle. Right? Some say it's something tied under the tail. Rashi gives two pshatim. Is it something tied on the tail, or it's like a saddle? Right? Loy akud v'loy rogel.
Saddle cloth.
Who?
A saddle cloth.
That's one pshat. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Loy akud v'loy rogel, which we're going to see in the Gemara exactly what that means. Meaning it's the hands. It's either the hands tied together or the feet tied together, which there's no hands. So the front legs or the back legs. V'chein shar kol behemoths. And all behemoths also cannot be tied up. You're not allowed to tie camels one to the other and pull it, right? Meaning that's talking about, there's a big difference here of the cases. That's talking about where you take one camel and pull it, and there's another camel behind it, and it's like they're going single file. So that you're not allowed to do. But you could take the ropes of all, and let's say, for example, you're leading 5 camels. So you're not allowed to lead one behind the other, single file, but you can lead all 5 at the same time by putting the ropes and pulling them, right? But there, as long as you don't wrap the ropes around your hand, which we'll see why that you can't do that. So right, with a mitoteles that's tied onto its tail. But you can go out with a camel that it's tied on to its tail and to its hump, because that is already very strong, and therefore it's not going to fall. You can walk with a camel with something tied on to its placenta that would be hanging out of it. Okay, right? So it can't go with the feet and the hands tied up. So Amar Yehuda Akud is Akedas Yad Beregel. It's the tying the hand to the feet, Ki Yitzchak ben Avram, like the way Yitzchak was tied when he was done by the Akedah. It's very interesting. It said Yitzchak ben Avram. I guess because it's the Akedah, it's referring to the Akedah. Could have just said Yitzchak Avinu. But it says Yitzchak ben Avram, which is basically that his hands and his feet were tied behind him to leave his neck open to be able to be shechted easily. Right? So that's what the Rabbi Yehuda is saying. It's Akad Akedas Yad V'Regel together, the hand to the feet. Rogel, Yitzchak ben Avram. Rogel, that's Rogel Shelo Yaakov Yadoi Agav Izroi V'Yiksha, right? And Rogel is that you shouldn't fold the hands on top of the arms and tie them, right? Meaning, so basically, there's 2 ways to tie it: behind the legs, the hands to the feet, or the hands together. So when it says meisvei,
meaning this is before Shabbos, is on Shabbos. What are we saying here? You shouldn't do that. What the Mishna is saying is you shouldn't do this going into Shabbos, going during Shabbos.
Well, you can't tie knots on Shabbos anyways.
Right.
But
so this
is so. Yeah. So the Mishna Brura actually brings it. It's interesting. The Gemara doesn't really say why you can't do that, right? So the Mishnah says because you're causing pain to the animal on Shabbos, and therefore it's something that's unnecessary. It sounds like you're doing it on Shabbos.
Meaning you're doing it before Shabbos. So you're not causing the...
going out. There's nothing to do with whether
No, before Shabbos, the thing would be okay. You did it before Shabbos.
So then how would the knot, as you just said, the knot...
No, so I guess it's in a way that you don't knot it, maybe. No, I think he said...
Yeah, if it's causing pain to the animal, why is it ever okay?
No, because then it's a masui. Since the animal doesn't want it, so right, since the animal doesn't want it, so therefore it's a masui. So therefore it's an extra thing for it to carry on Shabbos. So you're right, I'm sorry, even before Shabbos, you're right, even before Shabbos it's an issue. It's a masui. If the animal doesn't want it, and it's not there for the animal's sake, and the animal clearly does not want it because it's causing pain, so then it's a masui, it's an extra load. Right?
All right, so the din is, what we're trying to figure out over here is going into Shabbos, what you're allowed to do with animals beforehand in preparation for Shabbos and for them to sit over Shabbos with.
Yeah, or how they're going to walk. You meaning how do you tie their legs? What does it mean? Which type of tying of legs are you not allowed to do? That's what it's saying, right? So the Gemara seems to be saying you're tying the front leg to the back legs, right? So meisvei akud shtei yadayim v'shtei raglayim. Akud means 2 hands and 2 feet. Rogel, and what's rogel? Shelo yochef yaday al gabi zroy. You shouldn't tie the hand to the arm, the yikshor, right? So that sounds like it's the opposite of, right? So Rashi says, Yodav agabi zroy is echad miyodav koifef klape ma'ala v'koisher kadesh lo ela gimur aglayim l'roy. Meaning all you're doing is you're tying one and you're leaving the other 3 legs open for it so it can hobble, right? Meaning if you do both, then the animal can't move, I'm assuming. Right? You tie 2 legs and 2 feet together, it's not going anywhere, correct? But if you tie 1 leg, then I guess it could hobble around. Yeah? So Gemara answers, Hu damar ki yatana detanya akud akedes yad v'regel oy shtei yadayim v'shtei raglayim. Akud is one or the other. It's yad v'regel, meaning 1 hand to 1 foot. I don't know, can it get around that way? Yeah? 2, yeah? I don't know.
It's like they do with prisoners here, high-risk prisoners. They shackle their legs. They can still move, but they can't run.
I hear.
It sounds like some type of an event at a company barbecue. You know, the 3-legged race.
Yeah, you know, what do they do to make harmony in the workplace? How does it do to be marba achtus in the work? What do they call those things? Yeah, team building, right? Team building or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah, so you're doing animal building, team building with animals. Okay. Or 2 hands, 2 feet. Rogel is that you should not, when we're saying not to do it on Shabbos, you shouldn't fold the hand on top of the arm, the yikshor, and then tie it. Vakati loy dami, but it's still not similar. Bishlam reisha, the sefer nicham, it's yasa kasha. The reisha and sefer are good, but the middle is a kasha. Ella huda amar ki yatana akud akedes yad v'regel. He is ben Avram. Akeda is the tying the hands and the feet like Yitzchak ben Avram, meaning the hands together. And Rogel is Shala Yachiv Yada al Gabi Zroy Yiksha. That you shouldn't fold the hand on top of the arm and then tie it. Okay, fine. V'lo Yiksha Gemalim. Yeah, that's a little bit difficult to understand all the differences between the hands and the feet, etc., etc. Right? No, but the next parts are easy. V'lo Yiksha Gemalim. You're not allowed to tie camels together. My time. And here you go, Marasayan. Right, Mishum de Mersi, that's what Zev was saying. Because if you tie Gemalim and they're going single file, that's the way you bring them to the market to sell. So it looks like you're doing business on Shabbos. Right? The reason why you're not allowed to put them all into your hand, right, is for Klayim. The issue would be Klayim, right? Klayim demise, and Gemara says Klayim, which type of Klayim are we talking about? If you say that it's climb of a person, but non adam mutter in kulam lachrosh v'limshach, a person, meaning this climb of animals, right? You can't take 2 different types of animals and plow your field with them, correct? So, how about a human and an animal, right? Can you do a human and an animal? So the Gemara says that it can't be that we're worried about you if you tied it around your hand. So now you're tying yourself up with an animal. and therefore that's klayim of an animal and
What's
a
the
human.
havamina for that?
What?
What's the havamina? The Gemara, the Mishnah sounds like we're talking about multiple camels. That would be
Right.
one camel.
And a charami. You mean you can't even lead one camel? That's what you're saying,
Yeah, the case is tying camels together. Not
right? You mean
What?
because otherwise the case could be only one camel as opposed to multiple camels.
yeah.
I hear. That's a good. I hear. That's a good. You hear what he's asking? He's saying if the Gemara thinks that it's a client issue, so one camel and one human is an issue, right? You don't need to have multiple. So what's the hava mean? Okay, the Gemara slugs it up anyways, but yeah. Okay, so the Gemara is saying, "Vatanan, we have in a Mishna, Adam mutter in kulam lachrosh v'limshach." A person is allowed to tie himself up with any type of animals to plow and to pull it. And there's no
I
client.
never had a havamina that it was colliding with two camels. The Gemara Shabbos was either
climbing a person. Climbing a person. Climb with the camel or a chamor and a person. A camel and a person.
So you want to know what that havamina was?
Correct. That's what he's asking. Yeah. Okay. Ella climb the chavalim. It must be climb of the ropes, right? Shatnez, right? Because the ropes may have shatnez in that. Vatanya hatoikif tkifa achas ein chibur. If you just put it one holding, then that's not considered attached. Meaning, klayim has to be sewn in together. You can't, right? I get this shaila a couple times. I don't know when this ever. I mean, people ask this. I get it every once in a while. That can you wear a linen shirt with a wool jacket? Right? The answer is you're allowed to because they're not sewn together. It's only an issue if it's sewn together. So
I thought if you can't take one off, I thought linen shirt and wool pants is fine. I thought if you can't take it off, without.
No, we once had this discussion, Naftali.
Oh, okay.
Tell Abba he
I thought a
shouldn't
jacket.
be falling in the middle of the daf.
I thought a jacket and a shirt was a problem. So you can't take the shirt off without taking the jacket off.
No, it's a different thing. No, but that's out to chashash, right, of it coming off, right, of it getting intertwined. But be'etzim is not a thing, yeah.
Being harnessed.
The daf, very nice.
Being harnessed with a rope is considered klayim.
No, it's not. That's what the Gemara is saying, that it's not klayim because it's tkifa achas. One grabbing is not going to make it klayim. So how could it be an issue of klayim? So now what's the Mishna saying? So, I mean, why is Rav Ashi saying that it's klayim? So say, La'ilam klayim de chavolim. Really, it is klayim of ropes. Because we're afraid that you're going to take all the ropes from the camel, put it into your hand, and then tie it around your hand like tefillin so that the animals don't run away, and that would be considered tied together, and that would be klayim, right? Now the question is did they know for sure that there's klayim in these ropes, or is this just a chashash? Right? I'm not sure.
Do you mean klayim is shatnez?
Shatnez, yes. Klayim is shatnez.
Oh, okay.
Klayim is shatnez.
Rabbi Art Scroll says that some of the ropes can be wool, some of them can be linen. And it's not.
I know, but
I mean, like each animal can have a different one, but that mixture, that like tying up together, where they
correct. Well, right. So that will make it like you're.
So that's.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did they know for a fact that there was klayim in the ropes, like that some were wool and some were linen? Or is this just a chashash?
They're different feelings, certainly. I mean,
I'm saying so then a person would know about that. No.
I'm
trying to get at, and I don't want to go down this road, is do you have to shatnez test suits or not? Because if it's from here, it sounds like you'd have to, because who says that the shatnez is in the ropes? And we're saying don't tie it because it may have shatnez, right? If you know for sure that that's the way it is, okay, so then make sure not to tie it, right? But if it's just a chashash and you still can't tie it, so then for sure you're gonna have to. Okay, I don't know if it's a.
What is Rashi saying? The skinny line, the last skinny line,
right? Yeah, that there is. You're saying Rashi saying sheyesh ben chevle tzemer chevle pishton.
Yeah.
Meaning you know for sure that there's pishton and. I hear.
Is that what Rashi saying?
Yeah. I hear.
I'm sorry. I know you don't want to go down.
That's a good deal. I think that's a good deal. I think you're right. It's saying sheyesh bahen. He doesn't say with chosh. You see the Rashi in the last thin line. He's saying sheyesh bahen chevle tzemer chevle pishton. I hear. Very good. That makes me feel a lot better. I can tell you that.
I didn't see this myself, but I was told that Shaz and Shuvas Lev Avram, I think it's called,
Yes.
Rav Weinfeld.
Yes,
Says
from Muncie, yeah.
Says that he brought. Someone told me he brings down that you need roiv, and we have roiv that it's not shatnez, so you don't have to check.
Yeah, it's not roiv. It's a miyad on matzah. It would have to be 10%.
Okay,
There's no question. There's no question that me'ikar adin, you absolutely, I mean, if you're wearing a cheap suit, there's absolutely no need to check. But Lamaisa, we do it because the Ramesha says it's easy to check. It's a different schmooze. I said I don't want to go down that road. Ramesha says it's easy to check, and I believe that if they're charging $15 a suit, that's no longer easy to check. I'm sorry to say. Okay, whatever it is.
And if they ruin your suit, which is
that's without
highly likely.
And besides for that.
And then it costs only $75 to salvage it. So.
Yeah, but that they probably did.
But Tzviakov, you can spend $5 on a coffee, they can check it soon.
I hear.
If a person can spend
$5, you know what? If they had a drive-through shatnez test that I can pre-order, go pick it up, and it's ready, then I would tell you yes. But to go and schlep and wait and pick it up and wait and blah, 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 I'm sorry, man. I'm of the other opinion.
See, the only thing is, Akiva, I have the kind of what, in Ramesha's days, they also destroyed the suits, and Ramesha still said to check. You know what I mean? So that part I can't say to change from Ramesha's tshuva.
No, did he hold it was like? Oh, did he hold it was like Mishra's a din type thing, or
yes. He just said it's like Efshel Levar. He said it's it's easy to check, so why not check? That's what Ramesha writes.
You don't have to destroy the suit, by the way. It's because they're lazy. They destroy the suits.
I understand, but nobody's making real money off of this. Nobody's sitting there and doing high-end shot growing
up. He didn't.
One second, nobody's making real money. Okay, I don't want to go down this road. Any shatnez testers on here before I open my big mouth?
Hopefully soon there'll be an Andrew Locke shatnez testing.
I forgot the recording. Ami's on there. I'm saying if a shatnez tester gets $15 for a suit and it takes him about 5 minutes. So you're telling me that a shatnez tester who took a course for 3 days should be making more money than a doctor?
I'm not even talking about the $15. I'm talking about the next like $40, $50 they charge you to put it all back together.
Okay, whatever.
And they don't do a great job either way.
Yeah. Anyways, no, I've been asked this question with Corona. Actually, it's a Corona shiloh because people are not going to the shatnez testers. So can they wear their suits? Right?
Where did they buy it?
So,
I actually have a suit like
that.
The
bottom line is if the suit's under $200, there's no way you have to check it. The basic rule in halacha with checking is if it's a less than 10% chance, then you don't have to check for anything. That's with bug checking. That's with everything like that. I see Yeshua Marchuk is unmuting. That means he's getting ready to tell us to go viral.
What? No. I think it's very good. I think it's very, very good.
Wait.
I think
See, what about bug checking?
All kinds of sales right now online anyway. You can buy a suit. You don't have to go ahead and get checked for shatnez. This is great. And then we can put kalayim on the whole thing. I love it.
There you go. Now you have money to pay the play groups.
Wait. Say this about bugs again.
Anything that's less than a 10% chance is not required. Meaning, if you know that, let's say apples. How come apples have worms in them? Correct. So how are we allowed to bite into an apple? There you go. How are you allowed to bite into an apple? Maybe you're going to find a worm. The answer is because it's so uncommon, you're not required to look into it.
Right? So what's with all the crazy people on Pesach with the romaine lettuce? 10%.
Why don't we check eggs then?
Why do you check eggs?
Yeah.
Because eggs are so cheap.
Nowadays, you do. Nowadays, regular eggs, you do not have to check maker. We just do it just because that's the meaning of Eseinu B'Yadeinu, which is the same reason why we check for shatnez. Because we just always check.
But you said the reason we do eggs is because it's so cheap to replace anyway that we do it.
Okay, but really, if there's blood in an egg nowadays, unless it's free roaming, that blood is not usher. It's not a chicken. It's safna mayara, we call it. It's just like blood. You can't eat the blood because you're just not allowed to have blood. But it's not. There's no concern that it's something that's starting to grow to be a chick, right? Yeah. So really, you don't really make her. Then that's what we were discussing the other night. You don't need to do this 3 egg thing that it should be batal b'roid. That was only in the old days. But anyway,
let's say you left the suit. Let's say you left the suit by a guy right before coronavirus, and now he's about to do it. Can you tell him, listen, coronavirus, I don't need to check anymore? And also, I don't want to pay for playgroup.
No, I'm telling people that they can wear it unchecked, and then eventually they should get it checked. That's what I'm saying. That's all. I'm not saying you shouldn't get it checked. So if it's there already, check it. Okay. Especially if his wife has a play group. Yeah. Okay. That was a joke, by the way. Okay. All right, weiter. Amar Shmuel, tefach. Right, this is very interesting. Again, in the Marasayan, you're right, Reb Zev. This whole sugya seems to be there's a lot of Marasayan involved with the animals. Taka, I don't know what the pshat is. Meaning, when you're holding onto the animal, so you're holding onto the rope shouldn't fall out of your hand more than a tefach. Right? The Tevei Shmuel said you have to make sure 2 tefachim is not out of your hand, but 1 tefach should be fine. Now, again, the reason for the tefach is because it looks like that you're holding a rope that has, meaning you're just walking around with a rope out of your hand, right? Yeah? Meaning because it looks like you're carrying a rope on Shabbos. What are you looking so, that's not the pshat?
Yeah, but I don't really understand that. The guy's got 10 camels behind him, 10 ropes, 1 piece of rope that's 5 inches coming out of his hand. Oh, he's carrying a rope.
Correct. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what Zev Bol was saying. Like this whole thing is the Marasayan. What kind of Marasayan is that? You see a rope coming out of an animal, going into his hand, and you're going to think that this guy's got, was it a magic trick? You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, that's the chashash. Yeah.
Maybe it's talking about 1 camel.
Even so, you see the rope coming out of the camel, and it's going into your hand, and we're saying don't let the rope hang out of your hand 2 tefachim or 1 tefach, because then it looks like you're carrying around the rope in a shusharam. If I saw somebody walking a dog and I see the rope hanging out from his hand, am I going to think that he's holding that's 2 separate ropes?
But maybe they don't see. Maybe they don't see the dog. Maybe they don't see. They see the front of him. He's
I don't think there's a Marasayan
turning the corner
here.
They don't. Guy saw him for a second. You only see part of him. That's the whole Marasayan.
I don't know. Well, it's not a Marasayan thing.
I don't think it's Marasayan. It's like any other time where it's Hilchos Shabbos, where it looks like it's a malacha.
I understand.
It's not Marasayan. It's
not
Marasayan. Where it looks like something, we're not going to let you.
Yeah, okay. So, but it looks like to who? That's what I was saying before. Is it looking like to yourself, or is this looking at others?
Others. But
okay, so it is
Rashi nowhere says about Marasayan.
He says v'loy mischazia shehime avsar gemalim. It's not going to.
Yeah, but he doesn't bring down anywhere in the whole block. Doesn't bring down anything about Marasayan.
He doesn't say the words Marasayan. Correct.
Yes,
right.
So that means they're running a geyser in a place where it looks to others. The geyser like that.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought sometimes it means to you. It's going to feel like you're carrying something in a Rosh Hashanah. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to, yeah?
Well, we're all Mepsi Kiyura, all these things, right?
Yes. I don't know. It's a big shayla. I never understood it. To be honest with you, I never understood it. That's not a chiddush that I never understood it. But I'm saying that I don't know. It doesn't mean for yourself, for others. I don't get it. I don't understand. Okay. Anyways, it's getting late. So Amar Rabbi Hashud, Amar Shmuel Tefach, V'Tana Dvei Shmuel Tefachayim, Shmuel halacha l'maisa asal hashminon. Meaning, really, it's 2 tefachim. Right? This is also a very interesting thing. Really, it's 2 tefachim. That's a concern. But we're afraid you're not going to do it correct. So therefore, we tell you tefach like this. We know you're probably not going to listen, right? And therefore, we're going to let it go down a little bit more. Again, I don't want to go down this road. That's why the rabbis are saying no social distancing minyanim, because they know that we ain't going to listen. We're going to get closer than 6 feet. So that's exactly here. Shmuel says, I would tell you a tefach, but then you're going to really mess up. So it's really tefachayim. I'm telling you a tefach so that you won't, when you mess up, it'll still be okay.
No, the shaila is it called yitzir? Is it called yitzir if it's like 2 tefachim?
Yes, that was saying no. It's not. I don't think you'd be chayiv. You're right. You wouldn't be chayiv hoitzah. This is just. It looks like it's a gezerah.
Does the gezerah make it aser or just?
Yeah, it's a gezerah. It's aser. No, it's aser, but you're not going to be chayiv karas for this, right? Yeah.
No.
But it's very interesting. Like, why? How come Taka? It's not. Anybody ever wondered this? How come it's not carrying in the street on Shabbos? You're carrying a leash. You're carrying a dog with there's no eruv. Why are you not carrying?
His
Kvunos is
His
on
mice
there?
is useless.
The animal's carrying it somewhat?
Right, yeah. It's not kvunos, it's us. That's a different thing. But it's this thing is on the animal. You're just holding on to it. It's just right. That's why you are allowed to walk a dog. What's the matter, Simon?
You're carrying the leash. If it's loose, you're carrying that thing, man.
That's not the way halacha looks at it. Halacha looks at it like the animal's carrying the leash. You're just holding on to one end of it. That's the way. Otherwise, how do you walk? How does this whole sugya start?
Even though you have to attach it to the animal.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't just naturally grow out of the animal's neck.
I understand, but so what? But it's carrying. It's the animal carrying the leash. Otherwise, how does this whole Gemara start? How are you holding a camel in the street? Right? We say single file. You're not allowed to do it because it looks like you're going to the store to sell it. It looks like you're going to sell it. What do you mean? You're holding on to a leash. It's carrying in Rosh Hashanah on Shabbos, right? Elamai, it's not carrying. The animal's carrying. You're just holding on to the end. Okay. Which for this next word in the Gemara, very important.
One second. I have this 2 tefachim. Is that possible that it's like when the machmirim with they fold up the cuff, that cuff once it's folded over, you don't need it. So that rope that's hanging in the front is something that's not needed anymore?
Maybe. I could hear that. But that doesn't seem to be the reading of the Gemara.
That's why he doesn't want it to hang so much and only less because then...
Yeah, okay. Maybe. But, okay. Let's go. We got to get moving. But we learned at a brayso you have to make sure that it's at least off the ground by a tefach, right? Meaning, which sounds like you could have it hanging out of your hand, right? Let's say your average person is a face, 10, 15 tefachim tall, let's say. So it's as long as the string is above the ground for a tefach, that means it could hang out of your hand 14 tefachim, right? So Gemara answers, that's in the part of the rope between your hand and the animal. That part has got to stay a tefach above the ground, which is the way we pasken. Meaning, if you're walking a dog in Rosh Hashanah, you got to make sure that the hanging part that's between your hand and the animal's neck can't go, the leash can't be dragging on the floor. It's got to be at least raised up, at least the tefach above. Now, yeah, we can do this on relatively fast because most of the Gemaras were already quoted before. A chamar can't go out with the, what do you call it? The saddle cloth when it's not tied on. V'loy bezug, and you can't go out with a zug is a, what do you call it? A bell. Afal pishu pakuk, even if the bell is stuffed up so it can't make noise. V'loy besulam shebetzavar, you can't go out with a ladder on its neck. We'll see in the Gemara what that means. V'loy bertzur shebaragla, not with ropes that are attached to its feet. Benat hanagoylim, and chickens can't go yotze bechutin, they can't go out with strings. V'loy bertzur shebaraglaim, and not with ropes on their feet. Ben ascharim yotze ba'agala shatachas azaryas, and males can't go out with a wagon that's tied under their tails. Bein rechelin, the females yotzes chanunos, they can't go out chanunos. Again, the Gemara will say what this is. Ve'ena egel, and a calf yotze begimain, and can't go out with a gimain. V'loy para ba'ara kufar, and a para can't go out with the skin of like a porcupine that it put it around the bottom of it, which we'll see in the Gemara. V'loy b'retzur sheben karnal, and this is a very, very famous Mishna, and it can't go out with the string that's in between its horns. The para, Rabbi elazar ben azarya used to go out with the string tied between its horns, and that was not, the Chachamim didn't want that. My timer, so what's the reason for all this? Kedamaron, like we already went through the whole sugya that it's a masoy or it might fall off. Because it looks like if you're going with a bell, it looks like you're going to sell it. Not with a ladder on its neck. Let's say it has a cut on its body, and you don't want it licking the cut. You want it to leave the cut alone. So you put on this ladder on its head so that it keeps its head straight and it can't turn around and lick its wounds. Right? You do that to make it, what do you call it? You want to make it have smaller steps, right? Like sort of what you were saying about what do you call it? Shackles, right?
That last part doesn't really make sense though, because if you put the ladder on it, it's for its benefit, not for your benefit.
Right.
So So I don't understand. I don't understand. It keeps going back and forth between ostering something because it's for human benefit versus ostering something for
right, because there it's not really something that the animal wants. So since the animal doesn't want it, it's considered a load. Basically, it just has to stay. You could put it on. It could be on there before Shah. You just can't take it into public property, right? Same way that somebody who has a problem walking and can't use a cane unless he needs it to walk. Without an Eruv, right?
I'm just naturally assuming there is an Eruv, but
right, but we got to talk about with no Eruv.
But again, you're dealing with like a cane. It's usually an ego thing, no? When someone's like, oh, I don't want to use this cane, but
no. If in Rosh Hashanah, if somebody needs crutches, otherwise they can't walk, then they're allowed to go with crutches Rosh Hashanah. But here, the animal doesn't need it to. You're just doing it to save the animal. So that's all, right? Fine. Tarnagal can't go out with chutin. Basically, they put strings on the tarnagal to make sure that they didn't get mixed up, to know which one's which. So that's again, they tied their feet together so that if they wouldn't jump around and then pebbles would shoot out from them. This is more of above a kama sugya. Pebbles wouldn't shoot out from them, and they would be, and then they would damage things. Right. So the reason why they have this wagon under them is to raise up their tail so that they don't drag the tail on the ground and ruin the tail. When they share the sheep, share as how do you spell it? When they're taking off the hair, right? Time in law azak b'shemen is actually interesting, a funny Gemara. Time in law azak b'shemen, they take a cloth and dip it in oil, and put it on the sheep's forehead. So now it's going to be cold because you just took off all its hair. So we want to make it feel better. So we take oil rag and put it on as Amalei Rav Chisda. What are you treating this thing like mar ukva? I don't know why they chose mar ukva. But all of a sudden we're making this sheep into a human that you have to take such good care of it. Which, okay, I don't know exactly if that's. I mean, you want to try and make it feel better. But I guess you don't need such a royal treatment. When the sheep is getting ready to have a baby, you take two cloths soaked of oil, you put one on its forehead, one on the stomach, so that it should get warm. Rav Nachman says if that's the case, you're making it to his wife's name was Yalsa, right? You're making this sheep into Yalsa, meaning you're treating it like a human. There's a piece of wood that they have in the overseas, and its name is Chanon, and they bring a little chip of wood from it, and they put it in the sheep's nose, that'll make the sheep sneeze, and all the worms that get in to the head will fall out. And why is it only for females? Why is it not for males? Since males are always fighting with each other, knocking their horns into each other, then the worms fall out that way. So only the females need it. Shimon Nazira Amar Kisma de Risma. He says it's a piece of wood from something called Risma. Okay. Okay, so he said that the name was Chanun, the name of the wood was Chanun, so that's why these things are called Chanunas. El Rabbanan, my Chanunas, what is it Chanunas? You said that the name of the wood is Risma. So no, because this is something that you're having pity on the sheep and to make the sheep feel better. So therefore you do that. Right? My egel begiman, Amar Ravuna Barnira, Amar Ravalazar, my mashma hagiman lishna de meichaf. What is that? How do you know that this is a lishna of meichaf? T'chsiv halachuf ka'agman rosh. Meaning it's a gimon is something to keep its head straight. So we learn it out from halachuf ka'agman rosh. You're going to make the head straight. You have a like parah ba'arakuvar. A parah doesn't go out with the leather of like a porcupine, meaning very pointy. To avdi like there's these yalis that would go suck out the blood or the milk from the parah. So you put these pointy things on there, so then they would get hurt. Yeah, and then they wouldn't attack it. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's use this one. the ritzua, according to Rav, it's whether it's for beauty, whether it's for shmira. We did this 2 days ago. Then it's aser. Ila shmuel l'noy aser, but l'shmira is mutter. So if those strings are put into the cow's horns in order to make it happy, to shmira, then it's fine. But just to make it look nice, then it's not fine. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. I think the vote seems to be that we should do a blot and a half and then nothing on Friday. It's too difficult for people to make it on Friday. Is that what the Olam is saying?
Right. Who made that vote?
I don't know.
No.
On the little bit that I saw in the chat. Okay, the Olam should put in the vote. Yes, put it into the chat. Put it into the chat whether you want it on Thursday night or Friday, and then we'll try and figure it out.
Friday, might go into Shabbos like that. It's great.
Yeah,
Let's do it Friday, but much earlier.
We close our Gemara and we open our Gemara with it. Come on.
I think for the rest of the parak, it's agarata.
Yes, it is. It's agarata. Yes, it's agarata. Yeah.
Well, it's easy, so we could just do it tomorrow night and Motzei Shabbos.
Yeah, I think that Friday just.
Why is his wife gonna throw him out? I don't understand. Shabbos, 6:30.
Oh, this is not the rabbi's call. We don't do a vote. It's a difficult one for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't lie. It's not good to lie, Simon. Don't lie.
It's a democracy. Let's put it to a vote.
Okay. All right.
You know what? I have a different thing. We could split it. I'll do Friday and Thursday night. I don't care.
But if we do it Friday, earlier is better for the people that want to do early Shabbos.
Well, early Shabbos is the wrong thing to do anyway, so.
There we go.
Jesse, you knew you were stepping into that one.
People that make early Shabbos pay their playgroups.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Why? If you're not davening with a minyan anyway, so make the early Shabbos, and then you'll daven Ma'ariv later.
Wow. You might want to get some cream for that bird. Oh.
All righty, folks. Put your votes into the chat. That's all.
Can we turn off the recording?
By the way, my friend is one of the guys that I work. One of the Kvachim that I learn with. He's in Florida now. Said it's jam packed with from people, and like he had a grand kiddush on.
Yeah, it's a huge thing now. People are getting up, villas. They're all going out there. They're all on Zoom anyway. And a lot of people going out there.
He said there is no, it's like Corona doesn't exist over there. He says there is no social distancing, there's no nothing.
Yeah, wait till they come back and all have it.